Hello everyone, it's Amy and welcome back for week 12 of Build Your Stash and Craft. So today we are going to do, I'm pretty sure when I was a kid they called it an iris fold. Now we did it with paper, and I saw somebody on YouTube do it with ribbon. It was really cool. And so, but it's really great for a card, even just a piece of mixed media. You can do it in all sorts of ways. But I went ahead and I just folded up a regular piece of copy paper so that we could have a card. And I do want this to, I want the paper to not be all loose like this. And so we've got this very thick tacky glue. Okay, I'm just putting a little bit there. I'm going to just kind of really put it lightly on my finger and just kind of go around the edge here. And then just press it down. I don't want to put it on my paper. And then put the paper together, because if you do it that way, see how nicely it puts together? It's not real super wrinkly, and that is the biggest thing. I you know, for something that's going to be a card, I don't want to put the glue on there and then have it be all wrinkly. So there we go. So this is our card then, and you know, if I want, I could put a little bit more. I missed this bottom spot right here. I literally want it to be, you know, I just wiped it all off my finger. You do have to find a happy medium. There we go. And it doesn't even have to be the whole thing, just to get it, you know, on those edges to hold it together. Alrighty, so this is going to be our card. And so then what I want to do is I want a piece of paper that's going to fit on top of our card base, because that's just our base. And so I am just going to take this. Do I want it ripped? I really don't think I do. I want it to fill the card base. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just cut around. There's my scissors. And I'm going to cut fairly close, but just making sure that I don't cut into my card. So I can always trim it a little bit when we're done, but I want it to be fairly close to make sure that I do my pattern the right size. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a heart in the middle of this front of our card. So we're just going to, I feel like okay, I'm going to start up here. And you do want to make sure that you have some area around your heart. Don't go right out to the edges, because you'll need an area to glue to. Hopefully that one looks good. Yes, it does. All right, so this is going to go on here like this. Do I like that side, or do I like that? Oh, I like this side better. So this is going to be my front. So I am going to turn it over, put the front side down. And then we're going to take our ribbons. Oh, maybe I should have figured this out before we started. I just have a hard time finding I can see the tape there, I just can't get it off. It goes this way. There we go. Take that off of there, and we need the other one also. There we go. Okay. And then what we are going to do is we are just going to alternate our colors and fan them out to just make a really pretty design. And like I said, it seems like when I was younger, they called it an iris fold, and I really don't know why. And I'm going to start here, and then we'll fan it out going that way. So I've got the bottom of my ribbon here, and then it's going to come up this way. So we're going to start with our first piece, and we're going to put it on an angle just like that. And I'm going to cut a little bit of this off because I don't need all of that extra there. Okay. And then we're going to take a piece of the next color, and we're going to fan it out. So we want to make sure that you at least get that point on the other side of the heart. So make sure that you have enough room. And we're going to put some here and up here. And this really is a very easy way to do this. I don't put it on the ribbon because I don't want it to soak through. And what you're going to do is at the bottom, you are going to overlap it with just a little bit left over there. And then coming over as you go up. So on this side, it looks like that. So, and we're going to, do that all the way, remembering that it's closer at the bottom and further away at the top. And if you do have extra, you can always trim it off at the end if you feel like you need to. I am going to put a little bit of glue on the ribbon down here where I know I'm going to overlap it, but not where it's going to be seen on the front. And so again, and I'm going to try and make my spacing about the same. So make this width on each of your ribbons approximately the same. And the size of your ribbon just depends on this. And the thing is, you can do this with flowers, with hearts, with, even just a square. And you just choose a point to start the fanning, and a point for it to be close together, and a point for it to be further apart, and then just continue going that way. And no matter what your pattern, it will look good. Or no matter what, whether you've got a heart, a square, it just looks really cool. And maybe I should have used the other glue that we got last week, the poster glue. Because I was going to put a little bit on here. The poster glue might not have made it quite as, the tacky glue seems to be making it a little bit wrinkly. I wonder if you could just... I was just thinking, just like glue a bunch of ribbons together in this fashion. And then just put your paper on top. Not sure how that would look. I've never tried that. Oops, messed up my little point there. Okay, now for this one, I am going to catch that point with some glue so it doesn't come off, because this next piece of ribbon is going to cover that. And you could take your time and get your measurements, a lot better, so you don't have all of this extra. But if you have extra, you can just go ahead and make it into snippets. That is the nice thing about snippets. It's a great way to use up whatever little bits you have. And collage, which really, that's, to me, a snippet is kind of just like a small piece of art collage. And it really doesn't take long at all. And if you didn't get the ribbon and you think, oh, I really want to try that, we're going to do it with paper really quickly too, because it doesn't take that long. And again, just remembering, keep that fan going. You know, don't, make sure that you really get that. Then they don't have to be perfect. You just have to make sure that you keep doing the shorter and closer together and further apart. Whether they're exact, these are not exact, but they're pretty close. And I think we're going to need one more after this. Whoops. Okay, and now that we've just got this little bit left, there we go. Okay, now for the reveal, let's see what it looks like. Isn't that pretty? I really love the way that that looks. And if you want, you could start, instead of starting, this is a little wide here, I could have started this down a little bit, still on the right angle, still on an angle, but maybe not had such a wide piece here so that, you know, just because it looks a little wide right there. But still, it looks awesome. I really like it. And then I'm just going to go through and trim some of these off. And I'm trying to trim back a little bit so that I can glue the paper to my card instead of the ribbon, although it really does not make a difference. And you definitely want to make sure you don't cut down so far that you cut past where your heart is. There we go. Okay. Now, because it was still kind of wet, I kind of moved it a little bit, so I'm just going to kind of like try and stretch it back out. There we go. And get rid of the fuzzies. There. All right, let's try the poster glue with this. But I'm still not going to put anywhere where the ribbon is not covered by paper, because I don't want it to soak through the ribbon. That's kind of odd looking. There we go. So I'm going to put it all around the edge and then stick it to our card base. And wherever I can see paper, I know that my heart's not right there, so. Okay, and I want it to go this way. Always make sure before you glue anything to the front of your card that you make sure your card is facing the way you want it to. Can't tell you how many times I've done it backwards or upside down. Just going to, whoa, I just moved the whole thing. And there we go. Now, I could have even like highlighted the heart before I started. I wouldn't want to do it now because I love the way that looks and I would hate for it to mess anything up. And I was going to turn it over and trim off any excess paper, but it really doesn't look like there is any. And then you can put a sentiment on there. Happy birthday or whatever. You could add stickers to it. Oh, this one might look nice. I really do love these stickers from the Dollar Tree, and for $1.25, that's not a bad price. You can do lots of projects with just one sheet. And again, because I put that glue on there and it kind of came out the edge a little bit, it's sticking to the back, so make sure that you open it up, stick a piece of parchment between there. Parchment can be your best friend when you're gluing, because you don't want to glue paper together and it's so hard to rip it apart. But there we go. I just think that that looks really cool. So you want to do, let's set this aside. And just show you how you can just do a piece of mixed media with paper. So let's take this one. All right, never really done this before, but we're going to try it. I'm going to just cut some kind of an odd shape on here. Making sure that you have enough room to glue. And so this is something you could do like to put on a canvas. Then you've got this to play with too. Looks like an ink blot. Alrighty. And then let's just take some of our colored paper and let me see. As we're going, I'm just trying to make sure that it's going to be long enough if I cut it this way, and I think that it will be. So I'm just going to do, maybe, I'm going to do about 1 inch, maybe. Oh, but don't throw it away, because not even just can you use it in a snippet, but very possibly, I'm not paying attention to what I'm doing here. You know what I'm doing? I'm trying to tear off the small side of the paper instead of tearing the big side of the paper. But I can possibly use that in just a small spot. Okay, so let's do that again, except let's do it over here. About the width of my ruler, I guess. On an angle, holding down your ruler nice and tight as you're moving your rip down the paper. And we'll do maybe like 5. I've always done it with 2 colors. Don't ask me why. I'm just kind of thinking maybe we'll throw 1. I don't have really any red here, except I've got a little bit left over from what we cut out for that card. Maybe we'll do 1 pop of red right in the middle. And you know why tear rulers are so great? Because you don't have to measure. I'm going to not use that one. You don't have to measure and then make a line and then cut on the line, because I can't cut straight. So I can look at this ruler, put it on there, say I'm going to come just off the edge of the tear, and that will be pretty straight. So that's why tear rulers are so great. It's so much quicker to do this many pieces without measuring and cutting. Again, hold your ruler down where you're tearing. Oops, I'm getting in a hurry here. Hopefully that will be enough, especially if we're going to stick a red one in the middle. And so I've got this red. And if I put the straight side underneath, I want the real color to be the tear side. It would help if I'd have it the right way, because one of these sides is rounded, the other side is flat. It does make a difference. Okay. So, I like that side, so we'll make that our front. This is going to be our middle if I don't forget. I'm going to start with the blue. I'm going to go this way. Like that. Now we'll go with the green. We have about a little over 1/4 of an inch down here, a little less than 1/2 an inch. And all I really need to do is just kind of make sure that they're all about like that. And I think maybe we should do the red one next. This definitely doesn't feel as warpy with this glue as the other one that we did. This is just bothering me. I can't. This is the back. It doesn't make any difference, but for some reason I just can't. I need it to be about the same size. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be, so long as the front's about the same. So let's see what that looks like. Awesome. Okay, then, because that was green, next would be blue. Or I could start to go opposite, but I think I'm going to, yeah, I think I should. Now look at this one. Okay, I wanted, because that red piece was bigger, it was hard for me to judge where to put it in reference to the bottom. Because if I'd come all the way over to the edge of the red like the others, it would have disappeared at the bottom. And a couple more, and this one will be done. And then you could put this on a cereal box or any kind of cardboard, any kind of canvas, and play with it by maybe adding other things to it. It could be a background for something. This is going to fit across the whole thing, so I want to make sure that I glue it all the way. Now, when you're using paper, you don't have to leave it. You could put the glue down the edges too. I didn't do that, but you could do that. So we'll flip this back over. Well, I guess I'm going to do it from this side. I'm going to trim these off. Whoops. I'm trimming the edge of my square, but oh well. There we go. And there. So, and that is what that looks like. So, and you know, these colors are all very close together because of the way that they were done. So it makes a very nice background. It is not as prominent as these dark colors that are very different to each other. But I love the way it looks with the tear ruler. I think that that looks really cool. And then again, on this one, you could just do whatever it is that you want to do. You could do journaling, stamping around the outside edges. If you want to stamp on it and you want it to like really be right up to the edge, just take your original cutout. Which way does it go? Set it on there, stamp on it, and then when you take this off, that stamp will come right up to the edge. And you know, but it will stop right where the edge of this is, which is actually another really cool thing to do. So, let me quick grab a stamp. I'll be right back. It won't take me very long. Okay, so I've got our stamps here. I want to make sure I don't glue that onto there because there's still wet glue, but okay, so let's do the little circle stamp. And what color? Do we have purple in there? There's really not much purple in there. Let's do purple because that will really be a contrast. So these are the stamps that we made in our homemade phone stamps a few weeks ago. And really what I'm worried about is the stamping out here, not on here. Because that's what we're going to see. Because this is just a mask, this part that we stuck in there. Mask is something that covers up your work while you're doing other things so that part of your work does not get messed up. And we'll just do the top of this, and I keep putting more of the circles on the mask than on the outside part, but that's all right. Do the top half, and then we can compare what it looks like with some stamping as to what it looks like without stamping. And our last one. Whoops. Okay. There we go. So ready to see. Voila. Nope. Glued it to my drop paper. So that's what it looks like now. When we put this back up here, it's like I didn't do any stamping here and here, and I really think that I would like some there. I don't like that big blank spot, so gonna do some there. It doesn't matter what it looks like on this part. And I want some there. Well, that wasn't very good. There. Okay. So, and then you could just do that all the way around, but see how that does set, it sets this off compared to down here. But you might not like that. Or you might want to do a color that blends in better or something like that. But it's just another thing that you can do. You know, like when you have your mask, and if you're thinking, I was thinking that this section is just so light. So then I thought this section I kind of liked better. Now, because I did it in a really big hurry, if I would have paid attention, I would like a few more dots there. And I can fix that by just coloring one dot, making sure that I'm not going to get anything else off of there. Color one dot and stick it right there. Whoops. And then maybe stick that one right there. So, you know, you can adjust it once you, but this is an easy way, covering it with the mask is a really easy way to get it done, to get a large area done fast. And then if you need to touch it up, you can go back in and you can do that. Like that. So there we go. These are our iris folds. And I love the way it looks with ribbon. That is my favorite. But paper is really cool too. And you know, if we had edged the edge of this paper, inked it before we put it together, that would really make a difference too. So that would really make them stand out from each other. These are all blending a little too much for me. But you never know until you try something how it's going to turn out and if you're going to like it. And I still do like the way this looks. Oh, I like it on that angle right there. If I made this into something, that's what I would do. This would be my top. This would be my bottom. So there is that. And what we're going to need for next week, not going to forget this time, we're going to use the shower curtain that we bought a while ago. And we are going to need a cookie sheet. That was $1.98 at Walmart. An Easter egg coloring kit, 98 cents at Walmart. This one has 6 coloring tablets. I like it with 6 coloring tablets. So, if you can't get 6, you know, get 5, whatever. But, and then look at the colors to make sure that it's got, you know, like this one has, there's no purple in this one. There's blue, green, yellow, pink, orange, and red. But then again, you never know. Once you put them in the mix, maybe a purple will come out. But so there is that. And then the jars that we used for our Kool-Aid. I don't like that this Kool-Aid has separated, so I am going to dump these out and wash them out. If your Kool-Aid didn't separate, or if you just still like the colors, if you're using them for something, then you'll need to have 6 little jars. But I am going to use those because I really don't like that. And then we are going to need shaving cream. So these are drip bottles, so you want a drip bottle, shaving cream. Well, the drip bottles we already have. So we've got shaving cream, egg coloring kit, and a cookie sheet. So this is $2, $3, $4.25. And so we had, let's see, we had $25.75 in our bank. We spent $4.25 today, which leaves us $3.25 to put in our bank, which so our new balance is going to be $29 in the bank. We're getting very close to buying something large. I just haven't figured out what yet. So we're getting there. We have $29 saved up. So if any of you have suggestions, if you're playing along and you really are starting out and there's something you really want, let me know, because then we could maybe make that one of the first things. So this is what we need for next week. And I hope that you enjoyed this week's project. I really like making these. And again, like I said, this would have looked really awesome had I edged that paper beforehand. Because I didn't glue them together, I could always go in and try and edge them now. But that is really hard to do. And if you've got a project that you're pretty in love with, be careful, because more than likely you're going to mess it up at some point. Those are a lot of edges to try and edge once they're glued together. So, but thank you very much for stopping by. If you want to make sure that you see all my videos, click the bell. You'll probably hear me say that every week now, because it does make a difference. I've had a lot of people recently say, I lost you and I just found you again. So if you click the bell, you don't have to watch my videos, but you'll know whenever one comes up, and that way you won't lose me. So I really do appreciate each and every one of you, and I hope that you all have an outstanding day. Bye-bye.